In this video, I'm gonna show full Telegram bot that can send and receive messages, AI that analyzes messages, remembers important things that you have talked about, bot that can send and receive voice messages and also analyze images and generate you new images. It is gonna be based on all the previous videos that I have made, so I'm gonna use clips from the old videos, but here are some additional modules and additional settings that you're gonna need for this full scenario to work properly. So first things first, you're gonna need a Telegram bot and Telegram connection, and here is a video that I made. So first things first, you're gonna need to add Telegram module. Here in Telegram bot module, you're gonna need watch updates module. If you can't find this module, for some reason it didn't show me this module for quite a time, then you can always go here to templates. Here in templates write Telegram, and here you can take this template for example, and here in templates you're gonna have this watch updates module also. What you're gonna need here is webhook, and to create a webhook you have to go to Telegram. You can go to Telegram web on your computer. Here you just have to log in with your Telegram account. After login, what you're gonna need is Telegram bot father. You can Google it or go to this URL. Here you have to press start bot. Then you have to write here start. It's gonna give you a lot of commands that you can use. Which we're gonna need is this new bot command. I'm gonna copy and paste it. Then you have to give a name for your bot. I'm gonna use it for product analysis. So that's what I'm gonna call it. And now what you're gonna need is username. It can be the same, but in the end it has to have bot. My bad, you can't have spaces. And now it created me bot. Important thing what you're gonna need is this token that is right here. I'm gonna click on it, copy it, and now if you go on this link, then it's gonna guide you to your bot. Here you have to press start, but that's basically it in Telegram. Now you can go back here on make, create a webhook. I'm gonna name it same as previous. Click on add, have the same name for connection, and I'm gonna paste this token that I just copied over here. And now I'm gonna click save and save again. It pretty quickly did connection. So now I can save it. And now if I write over here something, and now if I'm gonna click run once, then you can see in the message one, you can see the message I just wrote. Another important thing, which is ID. Now you can copy this ID or it actually will be outputted in the next module, but you need this ID to respond to, because in Telegram bots can't respond to bots. So now I can add AI. And now here in AI, I'm just gonna add this text that is sent from Telegram. As you can see, it is easier if you have run it once. And now I want this answer sent back to Telegram, which is gonna be send a text message or reply. Make sure I have right connection. And for chat ID, press on this chat ID or paste it manually because we copied it. And for text, I'm gonna use results from AI. Click save. And now if I turn this scenario on, click save. And now go here back to this Telegram bot and write some text. Then automatically this scenario will be turned on and I will receive answer from AI. After connecting a bot, next thing that I'm gonna add is router, because I need it to filter what is input. For example, if I'm sending a text, image, or I want to generate image or voice message, so that's why I need a router in between. So first thing that I want is text. But the important thing to remember is that text can get into two parts. One is to chat with AI, and second part is to ask AI to generate an image. So that's why here I'm gonna add AI. From previous videos you have known I am using grok AI because it's quite cheap and very efficient. And here in grok AI I'm gonna add a message for the system, and it's gonna be this simple prompt. It is gonna analyze the input text that is coming from Telegram and say, is it an image generation request? Yes or no. And second role that I'm gonna add is assistant. And for text content, it's gonna be a text from Telegram. And for that, I'm gonna write here text. And it has to be message and text. Also, I'm gonna turn off web search because I don't need it and click save. And after decision is made, I'm gonna add a route. Again, because I want it to know which way it should go. If it is image generation, it's gonna go one path. And if it is just a text, then it's gonna go another path. And for this scenario to know which path to go, I'm gonna add here filters in between. For example, this is gonna be image route. So here condition of generated AI conditions has to be equal to, or even better, equal to case insensitive. In that case, if something is written in lower letter, it's not gonna have impact on your scenario. And I'm gonna click save. And the second route is gonna be just text. And here, AI conditions is gonna be again equal to case insensitive, and it's gonna be no. And click save. And here where is the text? I'm gonna add a scenario from one of my previous videos where I tried to explain how to have a memory inside of this bot. In this video, I'm gonna show a scenario about Telegram bot with memory. It's gonna include short-time memory for last messages and also long-time memory for important stuff. And it was something like this. First of all, text is sent to Telegram bot. AI takes it, analyzes it, and answers as a personal assistant, and then sends it back to Telegram. But problem with this type of scenario is that if you send the text, it's not gonna memorize what you have. And now I'm gonna add modules one by one to show you what they do. As you can see over here, I have Google Docs and I also have data storage. Google Docs I use for long-time memory. In Google Docs, I add information that I want AI to remember for a longer time. And this I'm doing with the help of AI. First of all, I have AI that is prompt, probably not the best way because I haven't used this scenario for a long. And you can definitely do a better prompting, but it's already working. So first role in the AI is system. It is given a prompt to make AI a decision maker, that it decides if the information that it receives, is it important or is it no. And information it receives from the message in the Telegram, and also they answer for this message. Also, as you can see, here is another AI, and this one I'm gonna explain in a bit. But job for this AI is to decide if something is important or not to memorize. So as you can see, I have router over here, because if it is not important, then I have here Telegram bot that just sends a text message as a reply back to me in Telegram. For example, if I ask AI how much is 5 plus 5, then it is not an important data to remember, and it's just gonna answer me 10 in Telegram. As you can see, I have here a filter with the no. But if it is important, then it's gonna have a filter with the yes. And as you can see, AI is told to output only yes or no as an answer. And if it is important information, then I'm asking AI to take in important keywords, write a short summary, and output it as a short text as an answer. And here you can see I'm feeding AI the text that I wrote and the text that my assistant is answering. And as you can see here in the example, for example, if I write to AI, I will have a work meeting on 24th of August, can you write it down? Then it's gonna output work meeting 24th of August. And it's gonna output this information and paste it to Google Sheet. For that, I'm using insert a paragraph to a document module. Here is nothing crazy, just putting information here in this Google Docs. For example, right now I have here only assistant's name and my name, and now I'm gonna write something here in Telegram for AI to remember. For example, if I write I have a meeting with a colleague on 1st of September in coffee shop near work, and gonna paste it to AI, then you can see AI answered that it noted it. And if I go back here to Google Docs, then you can see here in Google Docs a new note that has this information written as a keynotes. So it's not gonna write a long text, but just important stuff. But there is now a problem. every time you run it, AI doesn't know that you have this important information. So for that, you're gonna need to add another Google Docs in the beginning of scenario, which is gonna be get the content of a document. And now every time a scenario runs, it is gonna read this Google Docs of important information before answering you. So to do that, I added another AI that would actually read this Google document and search if here in Google Docs is some useful information for the message that I just sent in Telegram. So for example, if here in Telegram I ask when is meeting with my colleague, then before answering, AI is gonna read this Google document, and as you can see here in prompt, it's gonna search for matching information from Google Docs, and if it has something, then it's gonna output it. And if it doesn't, then it's just gonna say there is no recorded memory on this topic. And if I go back in Telegram, then you can see it pulled this information from the same Google Docs. And for AI, it is actually quite important information to ask when there is a meeting. So that's why I added here these rules. If there is a previous record information on this topic, which means if here is already information meeting colleague 1st of September, then it is gonna say no, not write this information down one more time. Otherwise, AI will think that this is important information, which is, but it will not understand that it is already written down, so you don't have to repeat it. So that's why I wrote it down as a special rule for AI. Also, I added a special rule to always remember or memorize or to keep in mind, because if I say something that is not important, for example, 5 plus 5, for some reason I want AI to memorize it, then I'm gonna say, hey, remember this answer for 5 plus 5, then AI is gonna remember it, even though it is not important. So this is why this AI that thinks what is important and what is not is important, because this Google Docs will be full of information that is actually not important, and in the end it will just waste AI credits on reading this full big document. So basically this scenario right here has a text that comes from Telegram bot with those two searches if there is previously recorded important data on this topic, and gives this information to personal assistant who outputs me an answer based on all the knowledge he already has from this Google Docs and AI knowledge that he has. And then this answer is going to another AI, which is gonna be decision maker, that decides if this information that was just outputted by person and AI is important. If it's not, then it's just gonna give quick answer and not memorize it here in Google Docs. And yes, then it's gonna summarize and memorize it for the next time. So this scenario is a Telegram bot with a long time memory. But of course, problem is if you say something to AI and it is not important, or if it even is, then you can continue a conversation with it, at least not with API. Of course, you can do it in regular AI, but not with API. So that's why I added a short time memory, and for that I'm using data store that is built in make.com, and will memorize a text that I sent and text that my personal assistant answered me. And if you go here in make, click on more and click on data stores, then you can hit here. If you don't know how to do data stores, then definitely watch my previous video where I explained them, because they're quite important in those kind of things. If you see this one, then you can see it has my message and assistant answer. It is in this one. Like with the long time memory, every time you run a scenario, you want to see what was previously done already before. That's why I have get a record module over here. And this is searching for a data with a key that is called short memory. This is the same key I wrote over here myself. And it is outputting, in that case, my message and assistant answer also to the next AI, which was my assistant AI. As you can see, I added another prompt that I added here some more information that can be useful or maybe not. And here I explained this was last message between us. I said and he said. And also, as you can see here in the end, I added this AI answer from previous AI, which was long time memory. So in the end, my assistant is getting a lot of information. It is getting my text and it's gonna answer to me. But before it answers, it has to consider the things that we talked with him before, the text we sent. For example, like here, I sent this scenario to AI, AI answered, and then I said, yes, please, write me a description for this upcoming video. And it continued the text. If I would not have this short-time memory, then it would not know about what I'm talking and not know about what to continue. Because the text that I sent didn't include any information about this exact things. If I would over and over again write, yes, please write me a description for this scenario and paste the scenario one more time, then it would only understand. But I did this on purpose and didn't write any information that I wrote over here. And as you can see, AI still answered me right because it pulled the information from this data storage where is my last message and the assistant last message. And also it is pulling information from the long time memory, which is this Google Docs over here. If you don't know how to connect Google Docs, then definitely watch my previous video about connecting Google, or you can just use Microsoft, which to be fair is easier to connect. So one more time. First of all, you have a Telegram bot, then you have long time memory data, then you have long time memory AI, then you have short time memory data, then you have assistant who analyzes long time memory, short time memory, if there is any data to be pulled, and then answers me an answer. Basically, till here it is done. And starting from here, it is just saving me short time data, and if important, then also long time data. So now I have added this text module with memory that I showed in my video. If you didn't understand how it works, then you can leave down a comment. I will try to explain it, but probably you should learn a bit more about Make before doing advanced scenarios like this. So I'm gonna try it in a bit, but first I'm gonna add this image generation process as well. Here I'm gonna add an AI. So when image generation request comes in, it's gonna go here, and here is gonna be AI that can make an image. Here it is, generate an image. So here I have this image generation module, and from prompt I'm gonna add a text message from Telegram. Here it is. Number of images, I'm gonna keep 1 because I want only one generated image per run. And I'm gonna click save. Next thing that I'm gonna add here in between is short memory. And as you remember, it is in the data store. And here it's gonna be add or replace a record. Jarvis short memory because it already created. And for key, I'm gonna use again short memory. I want to overwrite all existing records. And for the message, it's gonna be again text from Telegram. And click save. And the last module here is a Telegram module. And this time it's gonna be send a photo module. Nothing magical, only chat ID. And as you can see, xAI generated image is already mapped out over here. It is using file name and image data. And that's it. I'm gonna save. So what does it want? Absolutely nothing. Make does sometimes it. So now every time a text comes in, here is a router that filters it out. I'm gonna add here a filter. It is gonna be text. And this condition, basically what it's gonna do is it is gonna take a Telegram message and see, does it conclude text, image, or something else? For example, here, if I search for text, here it is, the same text. And filter has to be exist. If text exists, it's gonna go in the first route. Here in the second variant, we have voice. So here I'm gonna search for voice. I don't have it right now because I haven't sent any voice messages in Telegram. But one tip that I'm gonna show you how to get it without running a scenario is to go to scenario where you already have this thing. For example, like I have here in my previous scenario, I have it over here. So I'm just gonna copy it. And if I go to new tab and type it here where is search bar, then you can see it written as a simple code snippet. The only thing that I have to do is change the numbers here to exactly match this first module. And where I can get this number is, if I look over here exactly, then you can see it is number 1. So if I change this 88 to 1 and copy this small snippet and now go back here where it is voice and paste it, then I'm gonna have absolutely working little snippet over here and it has to exist. and click save. So this is quick, simple trick that you can use without running scenario, without using any credits. And the third thing that I have here is image, and I'm gonna use exactly the same method. So I need the condition. I'm gonna go back to my scenario. Here it is. I'm gonna copy this one, paste it right over here, and change the number to 1 again, copy it one more time, and paste it here in my new scenario. And it's gonna paste it here itself. And condition has to be that this thing exists. And click save. So this is the simple trick. So for example, if I run this once and go to Telegram and write here a question and go back, then you can see scenario activated. It understood that this is just a text, not image generation. That's why it went here. AI is deciding, is it important, is it not important text? And as you can see, the capital of Belgium is Brussels. And it also decided that it is not important question and just sent me a message to Telegram. Here it is. I probably should move my filter from here to here. And that's what I'm gonna do now, because otherwise it is running this AI just stupidly. And now if I ask in Telegram to generate me an image and run it once with the request that I just made, AI decided that this image generation, and it went to this road. And now it sent me an image of my request. And now if I here write, for example, a question, then it's gonna run again. And now it understood that it is not an image generation request, but it is a question about an image before. So now it's gonna check a short time memory and say what I just wanted. I don't know why that Wi-Fi symbol, but sometimes AI is just having its own interesting time. So we have now text, and now let's continue with the voice. This time I'm gonna use ChatGPT, as it's quite easy to set up and it has built-in functions. So it's gonna look something like this. Can you please tell me what is capital of France? And now I have an answer.
Paris.
I asked AI to be short, so that's why it's so short. Anyways, this can be used as for fun, but also later to become a personal assistant. So let's build this same module from the beginning. First things what you're gonna need is same watch updates Telegram module, like in the previous scenarios. Here you have to have your webhook and then click save. Second module that you're gonna need is Telegram bot, download a file. This is very similar that I did in sending images, but what you're gonna need this time is message attachment ID. It is over here. So I'm gonna click on it and click save. Next, what I'm gonna add is ChatGPT. Here I'm gonna need create a transcription module. I have to click on it. Here you can see it took file name and data from previous download a file module. For a module, I'm gonna use this Whisper one. For response format, I'm gonna keep JSON file. And for a prompt, I'm gonna leave empty. If you click on advanced settings, then you can see here is language. And to enter any language, it has to be in this code. So now if I click on it, then you can see a table of all those languages and their codes. Here are the codes. And as you can see, English is gonna be EN. So as this video I'm doing in English, then I'm gonna write here English. If you leave it empty, it's gonna guess what language you're talking, and usually it guesses right, but sometimes it messes up. And now if I go back to Telegram and record audio over here, for example about weather, and send it here in Telegram, then nothing is gonna happen because right now I don't have an answer. But if I run it once, I'm gonna use existing data that I just did in Telegram, then you can see output is gonna be what weather is today. And now if I take this text and input to another module, which is gonna be create a completion module, here I'm gonna take a developer or a system and write to AI write me an answer as personal assistant and output me only short answer because I don't want to receive paragraphs about something. I want quick answers from AI. And second message is gonna be assistant. And here I'm gonna use text from previous AI module. Now I'm gonna click save and add a new OpenAI ChatGPT module, but this time it is going to be generate an audio module. For input, I'm gonna use results from previous text module, from this one. For module, I'm gonna use this first TTS1. And so now if I go to advanced settings, then you can choose what voice you're gonna use. I'm gonna use Nova. It is least annoying for me. I'm also gonna delete this output file name because I don't want to see outputted file name. For a response format, I'm gonna use Opus format or also go this wave format. I usually use Opus, and speed I'm gonna leave the same. So I'm gonna click save, and now I'm gonna add last module in Telegram bot, which is gonna be send an audio file. Here I'm gonna need chat ID. This you can easily take from first module. For caption, I'm not gonna enter anything, but you can basically enter also here whatever you want, but I'm gonna leave it empty. For file, I'm gonna choose OpenAI. As you can see, it uses file name and audio, and everything else I'm gonna leave same. So now I click save and delete all data, activate this scenario, click save, and now if I go here to Telegram, what is biggest country in the world? Enter this audio, then pretty soon I will receive an answer.
Russia.
As you can see, it outputted here me with this name. And if you don't want to have this ugly file name over here, then you have to go to this generate an audio module and instead write here some other text. Click save the module. How far is moon from Earth? And if you add anything over here, then you can see it's gonna delete this ugly file name and then output you clean audio file without ugly stuff. So back here in our master scenario, here I have this same download the file module and OpenAI that transcripts this file. But the next thing that I'm gonna add instead is exactly the same thing that here upper with the text. I'm gonna have AI that decides, is this a command to generate an image or this is command for some question or for some text. So I'm gonna copy this upper part over here and paste it. Here it is. So what I need to do right now is change the input text, because this time it's gonna be transcript text, and then click save. Also here with image generation, it has to be also an transcript text. Everything else I'm gonna leave the same. Click save. Changes a bit in data storage, also with adding transcript text. And here I'm making sure that it is sending generated an image, not audio file back. So I'm gonna click save. And the text part is actually gonna be very similar that I have over here with text. So I can copy most of it. I'm gonna copy it and paste it over here. As you can see, it also copied the filter, but it copied the wrong AI, so I'm gonna change it. Click on it, and also with the image one. And here I'm gonna do some changes, because I don't have right now anymore this message text, so I'm gonna instead add this here between. And now next part is gonna depend on how you want to receive your messages. If you want to receive them in text, then you can just copy these two modules and add a response that you have here with AI. Or if you want to receive it also in the voice, for example, if you send a voice message, then you want to receive a voice message, then here in between, you just have to add an AI that can take your text and make it a voice message. So here, when I have this AI answer in between, I'm gonna add another module. I'm gonna move it a bit. and add here ChatGPT module, and it's gonna be generate a speech from text. And I'm gonna connect it here in between. And for input, I'm gonna have results from my previous AI. And for module, I'm gonna use this HT system that is optimized for quality. Here I'm gonna have some advanced settings. For example, for voice, I'm gonna use Nova. It is least annoying. Here I'm gonna change output file name, as I don't want it to be ugly. And the response format is gonna be here Opus. And click save. So now AI has generated me a voice message, and I can send this voice message here in the end. And here it is, send a voice message. For that I'm gonna need chat ID. And if I scroll down, then you can see file, it is already found. OpenAI ChatGPT, it needs file name and output audio. And here, if it is not an important text to remember, then I'm just gonna clone this one and paste it over here. And it's gonna just straight away send me a message to Telegram and not save it to a long time memory. So I'm gonna add filter over here. It's gonna be no. And condition for AI is gonna be again equal to case insensitive, and it's gonna be no. Click save. Now let's have this voice test. What is capital of Uruguay? Gonna click run it once so you can see where it's gonna go. It understood that it is a voice message, went here in the voice message section, and now it transcribed it. It understood my English, very good. I hope you do understand it. And now I got an answer.
The video.
Of course, you can add your voice message also to text and opposite, or for example, all the time receive voice messages, but for this video, I'm gonna just keep it like this. And last thing that we had was image analyze. And it's actually quite easy. Here you just need to have a Telegram bot that can download this image. It is gonna be again, download a file. And here you need file ID. And for that you can search for it. And here it is, message, photos and file ID. But the only thing that you can do to make this even better is to add number 4 here in between. Because by default, Telegram is downloading an not very good quality image. It makes sure that image that you are downloading is the best quality. And it's gonna make much easier for AI to analyze what is on image. Here I'm gonna add AI. This time I'm gonna use grok 4. Here I'm gonna add a role as an system. It is gonna depend on what you need. For example, if you need only text from image, then you can AI to ask you to output only text from the image or to describe it. It depends what you need. But I'm gonna leave it like this for now. It actually has to be an user, because then you can add an image over here. And I'm gonna use this time image file because I downloaded it. I don't need web search. I'm gonna turn it off and then click save. Also here in between, I'm gonna add, copy this short memory. So for example, if the next text I'm gonna ask about this image, then my personal assistant can continue with the same text. Only the thing I'm gonna change is my messages, because now I need this AI text over here. And the last module that it's gonna be, it is gonna be a send text message or reply. So I'm gonna just copy this module, go back and paste it over here. And the only thing that I'm gonna change is AI answer, and everything else I'm gonna leave the same. Click save. Save this scenario, auto align it to make it beautiful. And now let's go back to Telegram. Now I'm gonna send some picture here. Just gonna send this message over here, run it once. So now the run is complete. And as you can see, a very detailed description of what is going on the image. So this is the master scenario that we are having. Then you have your bot that can do a lot of tasks. Of course, here you can add a file generation. For example, you can send file in Telegram and then AI is gonna analyze it and answer you. You can do that. Or you can add all the other things that you need. But this is the one that is based on my previous videos. It is working very well. and is quite useful, especially this memory part. So maybe it is going to be useful for you or for your client. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. But for now, have a beautiful day.